Take for granted these basic things, Crystal. And every day nowadays, I'm like, shout out to being a human.
Welcome to the Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons podcast. Here, you will raise your awareness to what is, and most importantly, what isn't working for you in all areas of your life, to identify your unique abilities and superpowers, to take purposeful action. We all get stuck, and now you can unstuck yourself with me every week. Now let's get unstuck, peeps. Hello, peeps. It is Crystal, and I'm sitting here with Whitney. If y'all are loyal, consistent listeners of the Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons podcast, you have heard me mention Whitney. Actually met you. Has it been like a year and a half? How long has it been? Like 2 years, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Where Shakina told me about you, where you come to your client's home to provide massages. And I was like, what? It took me a while to get my money together. But when I got my first massage, I was like, this is on another level. And yet some people may say getting a massage is a luxury, is a privilege. I agree to all of that. And I also recognize that I wanted to provide myself with that feeling. And you did not disappoint. So Whitney and I, thank you. Whitney and I have been talking back and forth. She's been listening, and she has such powerful and different perspectives and takeaways from listening to the podcast. So my last massage, I was like, Whitney, we gotta do an episode together. So we said it, and so it is, and here she is.
Yeah.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, girl. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful.
Oh, you're welcome. And I love massages. Me and my mom started getting massages, probably 6 or 7 years ago. It was a gift I gave her to go to one of the, local ones, Hand and Stone, I think. And for us to get together monthly, we started just becoming a member and then going every month. Eventually, over time, my massage therapist, she was venturing out. I remember her telling me, Crystal, I don't want to do this forever. And I was like, no. And then I was like, well, that makes sense. Because she went over to explain, like, it takes a lot of work, her fingers, her hands, her bending over. And I'm like, you're right. You're doing this day after day after day. And I thanked her for sharing that perspective with me, because even though I enjoyed the service, I also wanted her to be good, like physically, emotionally. And I didn't want to put that pressure on her or make her feel bad. Like, you can't leave. I definitely told her I would miss her. So it's just so cool that you can appreciate someone and their craft, but also recognize there's so much more to them.
Mm-hmm.
And Whitney and I have been going back and forth and just sharing life stories, perspectives, growing up, just everything in between. And I think the biggest thing that hit me was just recognizing we're changing, we're different. And Whitney, when I say that, what's the first thing that kind of comes to mind? Or you can actually back up and just kind of share with the people who you are, a little bit about yourself. So you take it away.
Those the tell me about yourself question. It's always so hard for me. Okay, well, let me go more on the professional side really quick. I am a licensed massage therapist and cosmetologist. I provide in-home mobile spa services, and my full-time job is IT. So just bouncing back and forth between health and wellness and the IT field for the past maybe 7 years.
Okay.
It's been an experience. I'm still trying to find my way. I find value in both of those. Finances are more secure right now on the IT side than the health and wellness, but I'm still finding ways to bridge that. And I'm not going to give up. I want to all the time, to be honest. I'm like, why am I still, I'll be at work like, okay, so you gotta reset this, you gotta do this paperwork, send this email. Oh, when you get off, you got a mobile, your massage table's in the car. When are you going to pick one? So yeah, that's the gist of me.
And that is so beautifully put and just honest, Whitney. You and so many other people, including myself, feel the same, where we think we have to choose. Is black or white. It's all or none. And I was having this conversation early in the week. Why can't we do both? Why can't we do all three? Why can't we do all four? And then we get to decide, all right, I'm good with IT for the week. You know, I did my Monday through Friday. That's enough. Okay. Now I'm going over here to explore or expand me as Whitney to try other things or to dip into the health and wellness things. Like, what has been sparking your interest now with the health and wellness side of just life?
What sparks my interest was a little on the deeper side, but corrective promotion for women who look like me is very important. We live in a society where looks are important. I am not a politically correct person. I go off of what society has given us. Is it right all of the time? Absolutely not. Do we need to find a way to maneuver? We absolutely do. So looking your best at all times when you can is what I believe we should all be doing. The outside is important, but when you have that energy from the inside to do it, you're more motivated. When you're working out, when you're hydrating, when you're getting your massages, when you're getting your facials, when you're getting your hair done, your scalp massages, when that blood is circulating through your body, the energy is going to come within, and you should be able to have that reflect on the outside, if that makes sense. So I try not to do or preach anything that I'm not practicing. So if that means that I have to wake up at 4 a.m. and run or go to CrossFit or do yoga or take my wig off and have my cornrows or have my twists underneath my wig, whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it, and it pays off when I hear an older lady or an older gentleman appreciate it, or if a little girl waves at me, I know that I'm on the right path and I just have to keep moving through that. That's why I refuse to let the health and wellness go, and I'll just allow IT to fund that right now.
Yeah.
I just want to be a good example for little girls like me.
And you're doing it. And I want to highlight something that maybe you haven't looked at in terms of the health and wellness. You acknowledging what IT brings to you. Like, even when you started speaking, you talked about, I know the values, the things that I'm doing. Being able to support yourself, to feed yourself, is a part of health and wellness. And I had to learn that the challenging way, the growth promoting way. I don't want to say the hard way, because there was so much value, and I'm grateful for those experiences. But when I left my job trying to decide on the black or white, the right or wrong, the all or none, I was like, I'm a business person, done. That corporate landscape that I was working in was just not conducive to who I was. Our values did not align. I see that now. I felt that then. My body and soul inside knew that. But as I continued, I was like, all right, I have to be business focused, nothing but my business. And at the time, that was my product-based business. I was so closed off because I was on the other side of the spectrum of, I'm not going to work for someone. I'm going to work for myself, where I was feeling depleted because I didn't have the funds just basic things. That's why I couldn't get my massage. That's why I wasn't a member at a gym or taking outside classes and I was working out at home. There's nothing wrong with that, but I also recognize the power of people and being in a room with other people with the same goal, meaning to work my body, to use my able limbs. And thank God for my husband having a real talk with me of finances, like, Crystal, where are we at? And it struck a nerve in me because I was so entrapped in, I have to make this business work. You to show people I failed. And eventually it just hit me one day. I was like, I think if I get a job, whether it's part-time, if it's remote, if it's full-time, whatever, I'm a business failure. And that was like a big punch to the gut of, oh shit, that's hard to swallow. Why do I think it's all or none? And I keep preaching it's not all or none. And I started the process to start looking at jobs, but also speaking into what is it that I would like to do. I didn't have the picture in my mind. But I knew whatever job I took, I had to know me. I had to trust Crystal. No, I don't want to take a job that is not a collaboration, is not involving a group of people, and that's being creative and being able to go deep. I'm not doing that surface level shit because I'm spending a lot of time there and I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want others to wear a mask around me. Obviously, we don't bring our full self to every situation, but more times than not, I want to. And we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. You show me how you respond to me being me, and then I get to make the decision of what's next. So you're doing it right now, Whitney. You are practicing what you're sharing and preaching. And I commend you for that. And I saw that and I heard that in our conversations when we would speak. And I'm wondering, what do you see yourself doing like a year from now? Like, what does that feel like?
A year from now, I see myself in some way offering all of my talents in like a single space to my niche clientele. I want to touch back on one thing that you said though. Are people going to think I'm a business failure if I, have to get this job or that job? What is failure?
For me, well, back then, because it's changed. Back then, it was I made the wrong choice in leaving the job and not building this robust business within this product-based spectrum. That's all it was. I left that job to prove those people wrong, that I did make the right choice in leaving that job. But ultimately, I left it because me, Crystal, stripping the wife, stripping the label business owner, stripping it of I'm an employee, whatever, just Crystal. I was slowly dying and I was slowly not trusting my intuition, my knowing, because it was just uncomfortable to keep defending it. Like, we're working in a hospital. Why aren't we working together to help our employees? Why aren't we seeking more training? Why aren't we wanting to be better? Mm-hmm. And then to be just met with, we don't have time for that. This is the way we've always done it.
Yeah.
Crystal, you're asking too many questions. And I'm just like, what is happening? What is happening? Like, I won. I was successful in identifying how valuable I am without those damn titles. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that until I put that pressure on myself of, now I got to make this work. And it was just, there was good that came out of it. There was a lot of skill that came from it, but it also took me off my path. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that question. What is failure to you?
I realized that it really isn't a thing.
Yes.
if you're on your path, there is no failure, right? I was ironing my dress, right? And I was like, okay, wait, you're 30 years old, you work in this full-time job, you spiraling trying to figure out what you're doing, with your personal business. You have your part-time job at the beauty store. You still doing, just all of this stuff, right? And when, I don't want to say strangers, but when people who don't really know my background, they're like, oh, you work there too? You do that? You get the joke like, dang, girl, you work like a Jamaican or whatever the joke is, right? And it's like, wow, when I step back, it can seem like a lot to the outside, but like I know where I'm going and I can't really explain it to everybody, right? So, so anyway, so I'm ironing my dress. I'm like, okay, wait, like, you working at this beauty store, right? And to other people, it may just seem like a job.
Mm-hmm.
You see every single woman who walks in there. Some go to the prestige side with the expensive makeup. Some people, go to like the drugstore side. You have teenagers coming in there figuring things out. You have, 80-year-old women coming in there trying to figure it out. They've never worn makeup for the first time. So that you have this purpose. What are you going to do with it while you have a small audience, right? Days that you walk in there with the attitude, you like, I'm not doing no shade matches today. Girl, God spoke to me so clearly last night because this customer needed help. She was in the MAC section and like, I knew she needed help, but I was with the customer and I should have acknowledged her and asked her to wait a second, but I didn't. And she got to the line. I'm like, did you find everything okay? She was like, no, honestly not, kind of letting me hold that attitude. She had every right to. So then I'm feeling guilty, like, okay, let's go back out there. She's like, no, I don't have time. I need to do this with her daughter or whatever. And I'm like, that one moment, you could have changed all of that. And God was like, so if you can't do this at Ulta, what you gonna do with a business? Girl, because how hard is it going to be when you have your own, how many attitudes you gonna have to hold that day when it's yours and you working for somebody and you let one, that's the stuff that I think about. So.
Then it would make sense that you're really figuring it out. And still want to acknowledge though, Whitney, the way you described that story was very detailed. I saw all of those individual humans going into the store and you painted that picture so beautifully. So you're clearly highly aware of the needs of others around you just by them entering the store. That is powerful. Like I have chills. As you were speaking, you were just like, and then this one, I'm like, oh shit. Oh, I never thought about that. Oh my goodness. Like so many different stories and perspectives. And really want you to recognize that is a gift. And for you to be working with someone one-on-one, it is expected for you to give their undivided attention to that one person. And like for therapy, I went to therapy yesterday. I was waiting in the line. They had me fill out some paperwork and I had to take it back with me to my session. But afterwards, I came out, sat down, finished the paperwork. And the lady at the front desk was talking to a woman and she was taking a long time. And I kind of like held up my clipboard to her like, hey, I'm done. And she was like, she gave me the little fingers like, hold on, I'll be with you. And she kept talking. I could have been like that woman. I don't know what she was going through, but we have choices. I just stood there like, well, yeah, she is talking. Like, I was just trying to see if I could just slide it to her.
Yeah. That's how I am.
So I'm like, all right, I can wait. I get it. And they wrapped up really quick. So I know how much you care, but I also want to recognize that you cannot control anybody else. And right. Your focus was that one person. Because had you had that other woman in your space, and then maybe there was another person, you was like, hey, I'll be with you in just a second. She'd be like, ma'am, you talking to me. So just know when you're ready, your people will come. And when they come, they will respect your time. And I mean your people, not the people that you have currently. So even if I use your business as an example, let's say you are providing in-home massage therapy sessions and overall spa sessions and an experience in your home, people, meaning you don't have to get dressed. You don't have to waste gas and drive 20, 30 minutes. You don't have to then get this soothing, relaxing, rejuvenating massage and then hop your ass back in the car and drive 25 to 30 minutes back home. None of that is happening. So I want you to recognize if you decide to shift in any way in your business, those who are attracted and connected to you, if you have a service they want, they will support you. And they won't say, now, why are you going out and doing this? Now, why are you changing it up? Because I've had hairstylists tell me, Crystal, I want to travel. Of course, I'm gonna be like, I miss you if you leave. But I get it. You don't belong to me. God puts skills in us to touch more than just this one person, to touch just more than whatever group we have. So I so thank you. Just thank you for bringing that up, because that I'm speaking to myself, but also other people, where it is, or it can be kind of challenging to be like, all right, I want to change my mind, but I don't want to let people down. We are multidimensional. We're not just this one thing. And even you sharing all the things you're doing, if we took work out of our conversation, think about all the stuff we do. We're able to drive. We're able to sing, even though we can't sing for most of us. I can't sing, but we still sing. We can dance. We can walk. We can run. We can work out. We can go to sleep. Like, we could cook. We can play instruments. We do so much.
Take for granted these basic things, Crystal. And every day nowadays, I'm like, shout out to being a human.
Yes.
We can drive and listen to music and talk and all this stuff at the same time. That's just in the car. That's why a lot of times these days, girl, I'm just in the right lane. What I need to be in the left lane speeding for? I am in the right lane, just chilling, trying to focus, stay alive, get home safe. Girl, when I see these cars like speeding, no shade to nobody with like a small raggedy car, but sweetheart, you have a 1970 something. You cannot slam on brakes and be safe. If anything happens, girl, you might be out of here. So you need to slow down. And I'm reading myself, like I don't speed in the car, but like in just outside life, like I power walk, I'm just real fast, like real fishy, like all the time. So when I say slow down, I'm always talking to myself too. Yeah. So yeah,
that was huge. Nah, that was, I felt that. that was received, because you're right, Whitney, like, I love that line. You drop so much dope shit when you say shout out to being human. Like, that is the realest thing, where we forget, quote unquote, the simplest part of us is just being. You could be productive. You could be funny. You could be extreme. You could be slow. You could be whatever you want to be, and it could change in a moment's notice, but we don't give ourselves permission to do that. And damn it, right now, I know for myself, I'm reminding myself of, yeah, I do this. I might not do it in a couple of years. I don't know. I'll keep you posted. When I know, you'll know. Like,
exactly. And I think my family be getting a little, like, I don't want to say frustrated, but maybe confused. I don't know. Because they're like, okay, well, you know, what are your plans for this? And I'd be like, I don't know. You know, it's like people want you to trust God, and you start trusting them, and then they like, well, what now? I'm like, girl, honestly.
That is the realest thing. Oh my God. Oh man, peeps, this is what I'm talking about. You see what she like just be throwing together? That is so real, where I'm more intuitive thinking. There's three. So holographic thinking is logic, intuition, and then emotions or feelings. And I tend to lead with intuition. I do have moments of logic, and I have moments of starting with my feelings. And intuition and feelings for most people, it's hard to explain if you haven't felt it or are willing to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
All of us have it. I want to highlight all of us have those three key components, but we tend to focus on one of them, maybe two of them. So I know exactly what you're saying. When I left my job, I kept telling my family, kept telling my husband, I can't stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is killing me. And I keep taking action of, let's have a conversation. Let's have another conversation.
Yep.
Let me have another conversation. Like, it was like, let's go to HR. Let's go to the CEO. Like, I went all of the different avenues of just wanting to be heard and seen. Like, y'all think this way, got it. But your outlook or outcome is not producing your desired goals.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So why do we keep, that's logic. Hello? Like,
Yep.
2 plus 8 is Z. What the fuck? Like,
Mm-hmm. All the time. But listen, here's the thing, and here's what makes all of us different. And the way I think about us, especially in the workplace, you know how like at a factory you have like the machine and like the different tubes are like going at different levels or whatever. I think of each one of us are like one of those tubes, like up and down, like we're all. So you were at a place where you could no longer handle what was going on for you to be productive in your own life. So you had to exit at that time, right?
Yes.
And I have another friend who, you know, has a good job. And when I say good job, I just mean where you can pay your bills and not, you know, just that's what I mean. Okay. So everybody has a different version of it, but doing well. But he has a side business too, and he's doing very well in that. And that is his passion. And he's mentioned, you know, I'm ready to leave, you know, this job or whatever. And I totally understand. I kind of want to do the same thing. And it's not that I don't feel ready. It's just, I know I don't need to do that right now. Right. But you knew when it was time for you to go, and he's going to know when it's time for him to go. I'm going to know when it's time for me to go. So all of that is okay. Because with my job, there are processes, there are things that need to be changed. And I'm the person who's willing to wipe everything out from the ground and we can just rebuild. I can do that because I know that in the long run, we're going to do better. You just said Z plus H equals 9, whatever. That's the logic that some people are on. If y'all want to be on that and we don't want to work together to get it right, cool. If we can operate in chaos and that's what we're going to do until we want to get it right, cool. I recognize I'm not the leader in that. So I just have to go with that. In the meantime, but I'm going to be over here doing these shade matches, massages, talking about skincare, doing everything else because y'all not going to ruin my high of life.
Yes.
You know, don't ever, when you feel like your high of life is starting to get ruined, that's when you make the change. But if you have something that can sustain it and balance it, you know, stick with it until you can.
And man, there's so many, like the way you did the examples, no one knows but you, just like you were saying. You're spot on. No one can tell you when it's time. Only you can. And sometimes I'm gonna use me as an example. I knew from the beginning when I started that job, Whitney, something's not right. However, it paid well. It didn't get to the point where it was affecting my high, my pleasure of life. And I share this often, just like if we use this analogy of being in a relationship, most people, you separate for varying reasons. And typically it's like major stuff. Someone's being physically, mentally abused. someone cheated, and that's pretty much it. When you tell other people like, yeah, such and such, we broke up, we're not together anymore, they might be like, oh no, why? Y'all look so good together. Y'all were so nice together. Oh, can't y'all work it out? No. Like, you telling me that you enjoyed us being together. Let me go back to my spouse and be like, such and such said we were good together. Let's figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
How can someone else tell you about a relationship that you're in and you're living? Yet, yeah, we gave it a good go. And I'm done. And you're done. And it's done. But with work, it's the same thing where, well, Chris, you get paid so much. It can't be that bad, though. Like, it can't be that bad. If I'm at a point where the job is not serving whatever the purpose is, so I want to take it back to what is the purpose of your job? Yeah. If it's just to get paid and you getting paid, kudos to you. Awesome. If you have a job where you actually want to be more creative, that you find that's your sweet spot and you get paid, double awesome. If you find that you are an outdoorsy type of person and you enjoy nature, seeing the sunlight, the trees blowing in the wind, a dog walking down the street or something like that, and that's what lights you up. But then you're in a cubicle with no windows, a light is broken, nobody to talk to.
Thanks. No ventilation.
What are we doing? And my whole thing was, you get a job to get paid. So that's why when all those occurrences would happen, I'm like, well, what the hell is this? Why am I in trouble because my employee didn't do something right? Mm-hmm. How come I'm not being supported and wanting to offer training and support and more staff to my staff? Why am I not being? I'm so confused because my whole spectrum was just to get a job, get paid. So, Whitney, it sounds like you have taken a deeper dive in what your job is for you. Mm-hmm. And it is sustaining you to be able to try new things, to actually stretch yourself with your part-time job. And also freedom to meet other people as well in that job, but your business as well. And figuring it out. Okay, I like this. Maybe I want more of this. Or maybe it's a conversation with someone's like, oh my goodness, I need you to color match. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Have you ever tried this before, Whitney? Because that's where I found a lot of inspiration, just being out around other people and then them suggesting stuff. And I'm like, oh.
Recommending products is a job, because some people don't get out much. They don't have time. They're working. They can't be on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Or they might just not be that into your hobby and your interests. You have to hone in on them because they're needed by somebody.
Yes.
Not everybody can find entertainment. Okay, I'm about to look. Girls, love, admiration from guys and, oh, I need him to do this and I need to be cuddled. Girl, when I see somebody contour their face, like I feel like I get that same type of feeling, like, but not everybody.
Oh, that's so good.
Not everybody finds like entertainment in that. Like, guys might pull up, football or might pull up Tiger and watch him golf. I will pull up a makeup tutorial and be entertained for hours. Like, oh my gosh, she found the perfect blend. Where did she get that from? That peach looks so good. Like, I'm learning from my skin tone, like peachy type of things.
Yeah.
Good for us, that it just gives us that perfect glimmer. It's not too pink, it's not too red, it's peach. Yep. It's those like quick things. Like, not everybody wants to spend a lot of time. So yeah, girl, I love it.
I love it that you love it, and I feel it because what you just did, you sparked your curiosity. So in those who are listening, what are the things that you've been exposed to that you're like, oh, I wonder about this, I wonder about that? Because that's what I do for documentaries. That's what I do. Growing up, I used to love watching cooking shows. I enjoy cooking. want to do it every day. I thought I wanted to go to school for it. My mom was like, we ain't paying for that. Yeah. And I really don't know if I would have done that I don't know. But it doesn't spark me as much as going to school, but I still get curious for anybody who is passionate about anything. Like me and Devon, we were watching Is It Cake on Netflix, where they're making objects that look like real objects, like shoes, like clothing out of cake. And I'm like, oh my God, what do they use for the cake? What do they? And then there's another one about Forged in Fire where they're making swords and knife. And I'm like, I didn't even know that's how you made it. Like, that is so, whatever somebody's really passionate about something, I'm like, so how did you get started? Where did that come from? How did you hone your skill? And how did that happen? And that's why I have a podcast. I just get so curious. So Whitney, yes, it makes sense that you watch videos. I've watched makeup videos because my mom didn't wear a lot of makeup. So when I started with Arbonne, we had makeup. I would do these parties. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Every time I would pull up a video, I'm like, oh, that's where the concealer goes. What do I do with that? And like, it's just...
Girl, because at the end of the day, somebody's like, well, what is concealer? And then you hear so many different things like, well, all makeups and stuff. Every single time you hear something, a monkey wrench gets thrown in the plan and gets thrown in your own knowledge. So that's when you have to break away and you have to figure out everything. Let me show you something.
Okay.
Because I am not playing any games. This book by Alfred Fournier, The African American's Guide to Successful Skincare. This book is so good. I'm like on maybe like the 5th page. I'm like, I'm just going to have to order this off Amazon because I don't want to ruin the library's book. But the knowledge that's in here, I'm like, this has to be shared. There's a reason that he wrote this book. There's a reason that the people before him are mentioned. There's a reason that I picked it up. We say that there's nothing new under the sun. And all of us have a responsibility to carry out whatever is in us. You know, somebody needs it. So I'm just following the plan, girl. It feels a little blind. I be waking up like, okay, you know, I got $20 to get me to Thursday. You know, what we going to do?
How old were you when you realized you wanted to dive more into makeup or just taking care of yourself? Do you remember?
So crazy. Like makeup specifically, I was like way older, like my early 20s. But just overall, like your look, oh girl, I had a whole Barbie shrine that, like, girl, I did not play about my Barbies. I had my Beetle, I had my Jeep. They all had names. They all had like their spot on our like dresser. I say our dresser. Me and my sister shared a room, but girl, that shrine, I pretty much took over that little situation, girl. Like their couches, their furniture. I just always had this thing for like posh, you know, just you know. I don't know. Did you watch Beethoven growing up?
No.
Okay.
Oh wait, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
Girl, you
yes.
are so cultured. I know you didn't think I was talking about the musician.
I did. I was like, no.
Okay, but all right. So Beethoven's Second, there's a scene where Regina pulls up in her red car and she gets out and the camera watches her from bottom to top. She has on this white flowy pantsuit. Her scarf is flowing. Her hair's like in this sleek back bun. She has this red lipstick and she's just walking, just up on her way to start some mess. I was like, I'm going to be like her. Not starting the mess, but just like the look. She was coming to take that man's dog away. I ain't going to take away nobody's dog. But the look, I was like, I like that. So, yeah.
How old were you when you watched it?
Girl, I was like 5.
I love that. And I can say, just meeting you and knowing you, you are that. You've always been very well put together, presentable, but still approachable and relatable, not like bougie and stuck up.
Yeah, and that's my goal. Like, yeah, I never want like that side of things. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Just because you're respected more when you're put together. And I think like there's a science to that. And a lot of people have been treated mean by like the pretty girl or the snobby girl or whatever. We've seen the movie Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the like what I'm trying to like separate those things, don't see us and be afraid. I want it to be more of like a standard. When everybody is like that, then there isn't a way for you to separate, really.
It just hit me. I get it. Because again, your storytelling and your analogies, I do remember being in high school and seeing the group of girls and feeling immediately intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to put it out there that I was unsure about myself being me, thinking that I needed to be like them. Mm-hmm. So your vision of being posh or being respected and presentable is very different from mine. And respecting those two differences, but yet and still wanting that respect.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, I used to think I can't wear makeup if I want to be down to earth. Again, it goes to that black and white, all or none, right or wrong. You could do both. Some days I don't put shit on my face. Mm-hmm. Some days I got the eyebrow pencil. I might throw some mascara on. Some days I might do the CC cream with the concealer. Like, hey, get to decide.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, this is exciting.
Yeah.
Because I've been wanting to take new pictures and I was thinking like, I don't want to do my own makeup. So now just thinking about you I don't know if you're offering it, and this is not a service to blast everybody. I'm just saying like, I want to know more about that too. Because if we take it back to what we're saying in the middle, you love doing all that stuff in terms of research. How did they contour? How did they do that? All of that stuff. I just want to look pretty and presentable and professional.
Right.
In my mind for that day, for whatever event or whatever photo shoot I have. Oh man. That's exciting.
You said, I used to not want to wear makeup because I wouldn't be down to earth. That like sentiment or like that thought process is so just, a lot of people have that, like big or small in some way. And you know what? I connected back to high school, seeing those girls that you're intimidated by. Mm-hmm. And I think that is what a lot of our minds go back to. Like, oh, I don't like makeup. I don't want to wear makeup, because you think about the bougie girl or whoever.
Yes.
Or just the stuck up and you like, oh, I don't want that, or that reminds me of that. I don't want to be like that, or whatever. And it's just like, that has nothing to do with like the clay product, the makeup itself,
Yes.
So, like, that's what I'm trying to separate, because I know exactly how that feels. I never really had like that issue. I didn't wear makeup in high school or anything, but when I saw like those type of girls, I never really had those thoughts. It was more of like, I wonder what they doing. Like, I wonder, I don't want to like sound weird, but like, I always wonder, like, what is people's home routine like?
Yeah.
How do you come to school with your hair laid? Like, how do you, like, does your mom wrap your hair at night? Because, girl, after a certain age, my mom was like, all right, girl, you on your own. I'm going to give you this money for the shop. But then, like, when I saw other girls who looked like they came from the shop that morning, I'm like, dude, do you put flexi rods in your hair at night? Like, how are you coming to school at 8 o'clock looking beat? Like, that was always how I looked at those things or whatever. So
yep. And that's not weird. I resonate with that. I thought the same thing. Now, because my mom was very frugal, she used to do our hair and we would go, because it's 3 of us. So if my mom and me and my sisters are going, that's 4 heads she has to pay for us to get our hair done. We did not do that a lot. That's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So I grew up knowing how to do my hair because my mom did our hair a lot, and me being like, now I want to try it myself. Like I put a relaxer in my hair, which I do not recommend anybody doing themselves. This is spread it down. Like, but I would do my hair and curl it, and my sisters and like people I would work with, they was like, "Why do you do your hair?" Did it every single day. And then I realized like I want to go natural and things of that nature. So I think a lot of people had that mindset that you were speaking of. We were curious, but we never thought to ask like, how do you do what you do? Mm-hmm. Because had we done that, it may have opened up a whole can of worms in a good way in terms of, so I could like get up like only 30 minutes early, or I could actually wrap my hair the night before. I could actually have my clothes out because I ironed them last night and just get dressed. Asking the questions bring about clarity of you to decide. You can do all of that. Mm-hmm. Done. I'm gonna try it.
And it's like I try to be careful because I'm not a clinical psychologist. I'm not a mental health professional, but I do know that there is some sort of connection there. When you put more care into yourself, you aren't going to take a certain level of BS from anybody, from family, friends, work, nothing. Somebody come at me in an email, I'll be like, girl, I spent 2 hours on my face this morning, delete, okay, like, no. And it just causes you to you're just lighter, you're airy, people treat you better, just everything, it all pays off. Yeah. It all pays off. It's just, and you have to try it though. Nobody wants to try it. They're like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not wearing makeup. It's like, okay, just try it. That's all I say. Yep. Nobody wants to do that, but.
And I've shared that too, Whitney, because you're 100% right. One, to the part of when you take care of yourself, when you are dedicating time, when you tell someone, no, I can't go out with you tonight. I'm actually going to soak in a bathtub. You're saying I'm choosing me and my time. That is highly important. So people are like, oh shit. All right, cool. Like you're letting people know what it is. I care about myself and I take this very seriously. Mm-hmm. So when you say people don't want to try, I always wonder, do people avoid trying because they don't want to AKA play themselves? If I try makeup and I don't like it, see, I knew I didn't like it. Why did I even do this? Instead of being like, I tried it, I didn't like the eyeliner. I didn't like the foundation. Like it doesn't have to be all or none.
Perfect example. My stylist / boss trained me to do lashes. I've been wearing lash extensions for 4 or 5 years now. I just let them all fall out literally like 3 weeks ago. So I said, just letting some things breathe or whatever. I thought that I would love doing lashes, love being a lash tech. I was like, you know what? We do these massages. I do a back massage. They turn around. I do their lashes. I'm going to call the service back to lash. Girl, I had a whole plan. Girl, Kirsten taught me how to put them lashes on. I said, oh, no, ma'am. I do not like this, girl. Just going around wasting everybody's time. Like, girl, train me how to do these lashes. And the girl who does my lashes at Glamorize, I was like, see, the OGs, y'all never want to train people, begging her to train me, all for no reason. I don't even like doing them. I'm not going to be like, see, I'm not beating myself up about it. I am so happy I tried because now that little bug is gone. Like I don't have to worry about that no more. I don't have to be online looking at lash trainings and courses, spending $800 when she showed me how to do it for, exchange of massage. I realized I hate it. I didn't save myself. Girl, listen, I am so grateful. Everybody, try. If there's something you want to do, try it so you get it out of your system. There it is, yes or no. Either you're going to like it or not like it. Okay? It's called taking a risk. Just try it.
And I'm going to add to it. It's yes and no and maybe, because even in trying and you not liking it, maybe you didn't, this is not about the lash. This is about anything else. Let's say you haven't rode your bike in a long time. You're like, I'm gonna try it. The bike that you're on, the tire's flat, the seat is uncomfortable, and the brakes don't work. Well, hello, you're not gonna like that. So just give yourself room to breathe and really get curious. What was it about this that I did not like? And the fact that that woman trained you, or you were getting trained by the people, there was nothing lost. You didn't lose time. They didn't waste their time because you got clarity. Oh, I don't like it. The bug was killed. They got a chance to train someone and recognize, do I even like training people? Did I explain this well? Ooh, can this be a business? Do more people, like, everybody's winning. There is no time being wasted because y'all are both taking action. And that's what I want people to recognize. In the trying, you're not wasting anybody's time, because there's so many people I talk to who do not ask for help and they know they need help. And they just keep saying, I don't want to waste anybody's time. Shut up. You are trying to make an excuse and not honor your wants and needs and trying to put it on the other person. You own your stuff and say, I'm scared to ask for help and I'm scared to find out if I do or don't like this. It's so, help is always there. It's always there. But there's so many people I talk to who will not ask for help and they keep doing it on their own. You're missing out on so much. You're missing out so much.
Do you know the Isaiah Taylor? He does film and stuff. He does like wedding filmography or videography. Very popular guy. He helped me when I was in massage school do a video, and I wanted him to help me do a commercial for like spa stuff last year, like last November. So sweet, so patient, own office, everything set up so nice, just talking to me. You know, time out of his day. It's not in the morning. It's not even the middle of the day where he could be doing his own stuff, doing his editing, just talking, allowing me to express my ideas. I'm describing the commercial, the setup. He asked his colleague if we could use his office because it was bigger. Long story short, I end up not doing the commercial. Feeling like I just wasted all this man's time off of like kind of like an impulse type of thing. So now that a year has passed, I'm realizing I have more clarity. I know where I want to go. The old Whitney would be like, no, I have to find somebody else. I wasted his time last time. He's going to hate me. I'm going right back to him with my deposit in hand, with my video examples ready, with the script, with everything done, saying, hello, sir, I'm ready this time. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Ain't no wasting time. Ain't none of that.
Whitney, I thank you for that example, because I recently was going through something like that, and I want to leave it there because that is you stepping out of that car in that white pantsuit, scarf blowing, red lipstick on, like, I am ready. And him being like, let's get it. He is still doing, he's still being, he's still creating. He'll be there when you're ready. You're not slowing him down. He's not sitting at home like, damn, she said no. All right, what do I do now? She ain't ready. Let me find the people who are ready. Let's keep it moving.
Keep it pushing. He ain't slowed down one bit.
That was powerful. Thank you for that. And on that note, I'm going to end. And definitely thank you for your time, your energy, your so many gems.
Thank you, Crystal. Your energy is amazing. I'm so glad we met, girl.
Me too. I appreciate you.
Of course.
This was awesome. Now, peeps, you have had the best time getting to know Whitney Henry, but I want to share a little tidbit. She's a beauty consultant. She also has a background in cosmetology, massage therapy, and the military. And those experiences have shown her the importance of self-care and how healthy, positive image of yourself reflects every area of your life. And that is her mission, to be an example of this for so many other women. And she clearly states that in our candid conversation. Whitney, you were giving us the wake-up call, the call of action of slowing down and being human. And being human, we are able to do, but most importantly, being a being. And you highlighted that so beautifully, thus the name of this episode, Shout Out to Being Human. We can be so many things, and you allowed us to give ourselves permission to be complex, to be multidimensional, because life is about exploring, discovering, and trusting, and all of those words encompasses the unknown. So just recognize when is your time to make that change. In any area of your life, you'll know. Thank you, Whitney, for sharing the book, The African American Women's Guide to Successful Makeup and Skincare by Alfred Forney. I hope I'm saying that last name right, but I included that link in the show notes today. Thank you, Whitney, so much for taking the time for me to understand and just have so many different aha moments. Instead of looking at taking it as a risk in life, look at it at making a choice. And then you get to make that same choice next time, or say, no, I don't want to. It's not time that is wasted. I like to say it's elevated. So Whitney, I'm giving you 1,000,000 air hugs right now, just thinking about our conversation. And I want to thank you so much for your time. And I can't wait to speak to you again. Peeps. Okay, so at this time, I ask that you click follow or subscribe on this podcast so that you're notified each and every time that there's a new episode. And all I ask is you to listen and take the time when you have it, but rate it soon after and share it. Tell the people that are looking to encompass a space like this that is out there by giving your feedback and your 5 stars on Spotify. Peeps, seriously, if y'all have noticed a difference, I want to take the time out to shout out my dopest, coolest, chill, extremely talented producer, Michael, who have saved my time. Thank you, Michael. Y'all will know and get to hear more from him very soon. But if you have noticed the improvement, hit me up on Instagram, send me those messages, text me. We love to hear it. And until next time, peeps, here's a coaching principle I live by. Shout out to IPEC Coaching Institute. The answers to all questions lie within. Stay unstuck, peeps.